Tune in, it's time for Comedy G. Bringing stars and stories, it's where you wanna be. From celebs to entrepreneurs, she's got the scoop. Community and entertainment, she's in the loop. Every smile a burst of velvet light. Through the screen she shines so bright. With the laughs and tales that weave tonight.
Well, welcome to another episode of SKST Radio, and you tuned in to the Cammie Grayson Show right here on SKST Radio, and today is Artist Network, and I have a very, did I say very?
You did, a few times actually.
Very special guest in the house today, and he goes by the name of Sesil T. Jenkins Jr., and better known as
Sesil J. Is the
Sesil J. That's
Sesil
right.
and Lujon.
And Lujon.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you know what, guys, this is a privilege because this man here has done everything. He have worked with all types of celebrities and just a plethora of things. And he's very familiar with this area. Wonder why?
Well, I was born in the city of Norfolk. I'm a project kid.
Oh,
and a very loyal one. I'm a mellow fellow from Compostela.
okay. And I know that street. I'm learning my way around. I mean, I had the opportunity to look at some of the work that he's been doing. He got all kinds of things that's going on in the community. And I just think it's amazing the things that you are doing. And you're not stopping. You don't let grass grow under your feet.
No, I don't. I'm known for that, actually. A lot of people know me as someone who have that tenacity to just continue. Once I set my mind on something, it is a goal. Mm-hmm. The goal will be accomplished. If not, maybe that day or that time, eventually it will be.
Well, I love it. And guys, wait a minute. We're not going to just stop there. So that hat is known as the crown. I think it'll look good on me, but I mean, look at it. I mean, he has such style. I mean, just looking even at the pictures from his bio and on his website. I mean, such style, such charisma. So let's start by telling people who you are and how you got started.
If my father was here and I said Sesil first, he would stop me and stop you and say his name is Sesil. That was my pops. Because I'm a junior, but I wanted to have a life after the life of entertainment, mm-hmm. and most people say Sesil when it is actually Sesil, and so I changed the spelling to the name, mm-hmm. and I did that right around the time that my mentor, who was of course Marvin Gaye, mm-hmm. Asked me and my act to find a name. And so we had our names and we wanted to stick with our actual names. Mm-hmm. So I ended up saying Sesil by changing it to S's, mm-hmm. and Delecta Johnson and Kenneth Lewis. And mad respect to Ken. We lost Ken in the month of May this year.
I'm sorry.
However, the act became Sesil and Lujon. And that was Kenneth Lewis as Lou, mm-hmm. and Delecta Johnson as John.
I like that.
And now we just have the one, which is Delecta Johnson, and we took the O out of the Lou and decided to go with the Lujon. So it's Sesil and Lujon.
Sounds French.
We like that too.
The girls are Lujon.
We like that.
So how did you get started? Come on, you got a whole life of story here that we need to know.
Well, I've been in the entertainment industry since birth. My father, who was originally from this area, he was on Atlantic Records. His name was Horace Jenkins. We called him Uncle Bra. Mm-hmm. One of my mother's two brothers, she had lost one when I was born. But Uncle Bra, Horace Jenkins, was with a group called the Five Sheiks of Five Pearls. And I was just a kid, about 4 years old. And I recall when the television came on, he was on it. And I watched him singing. And I knew that very day what I'd be doing the rest of my life.
Nice.
And so I entered all the recreation centers because during my time of growing up, we had recreation centers.
Mm-hmm.
And in those recreation centers, we had talent shows and all types of things. And I'm a graduate of Booker T. Washington High School. And so the younger part of my life, I was at the recreation center singing and dancing in the projects and was known pretty much for doing those things. But I also loved sports. So I ended up playing the 3 major sports, which was baseball was my first, baseball, basketball, and football.
How was baseball first?
Huh?
Why was baseball first?
I don't know, actually, but my partner, Ronnie Carter, who was my neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
him and I we had gloves and bats and balls and all kind of things. My father actually literally worked for Topper Toys.
Oh, okay.
And he drove the truck. And when he drove the truck, he drove a lot of what was on the truck to the house.
That gets you started.
So we had gloves and balls, and Ronnie and I used to catch a lot, and then they had a midget baseball team,
Mm-hmm.
and it was being coached by Alvin Perkins, and Alvin Perkins had a twin brother by the name of Calvin Perkins, who was on the radio here many years ago. And he was a street DJ as well, called himself Calvin Shakespeare Perkins. But anyway, Alvin Perkins was involved in sports, and he was a conga player, awesome conga player, but didn't want to go stardom, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He was asked many times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the industry that everybody should jump into unless you're ready for it, actually.
Right.
You know, it has to be a part of your life. So I did all of that when I was young, and then I ended up playing sports until I got to high school. When I got back to high school, attending Booker T. Washington High School here, that was the old Booker T. Washington High School, and across the street from it was called the Sugar Shack.
The Sugar Shack.
Yeah, the Sugar
Candy
Shack.
House.
Yeah, I guess you'll see. You know, there was another one called Kelly's, and I ended up going over there, and I ended up dancing because everybody knew that I came from Compostela.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a mellow fellow from Compostela.
I like it.
But anyway, they all knew that I was a good dancer. And so while I was over at the Sugar Shack one day, playing hooky from class, of course. You know, I'm a nice guy. Don't take that wrong.
Okay.
But anyway, I was doing this dance called the African Twist. And you bop your head and your hips would twist at the same time.
Okay.
And it was almost like you was disconnected. Like they do with the other dances that they do today.
Like,
Well, that was our disconnect dance called the African Twist. And I was over there doing, we had jukeboxes.
Mm-hmm.
And in those jukeboxes, you put the coin in and stay over there all day listening to music. And I was dancing. That day I felt a certain way. And then the girls were like,
all over you. There you go.
Really checking the guy out,
Mm-hmm.
No, they were. And it was this one specific one that I saw all the time I was over there. Her name was Joyce Hall. And she ended up becoming my very first girlfriend. And from that point, I say, no, the entertainment industry is where I belong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you got started, and then you had that bug, right? So how did you know that you were going to be successful at it? When did you realize, hey, I'm good at this?
Early on, because the attention that I was always given when I did it, the homecoming dances, and then there was another place called Booker T Drive-In that was on the grounds too as well, and we'd all go over to the Booker T Drive-In after all the games, no matter what sports, no matter what time of the year. After the game, everybody goes to the Booker T Drive-In.
Wow.
And I would go over there. And of course, I would meet Joyce over there. She wasn't already on my arms, But anyway, when we got to Booker T Drive-In, I'd cut up. And as I was cutting up, everybody was going crazy. They were literally throwing money out on the floor.
George should have been over there picking it up.
No greens, because kids didn't have greens back then like they got today, a quarter was big time money. You know what I'm saying? $1 would have been a little bit too much for us back then. Yeah. But anyway, they were throwing money out on the floor while I was dancing. And I was doing this African twist among whatever else that I could do creatively. And I noticed that, and I said, boy, you getting off, dude. And I was always a singer as well, coming from a singing family, and so, I just knew it. And there were things happening to me throughout my entire life that let me know that it was almost like someone was dropping breadcrumbs. And I just picked them up and kept following them. It really was like that in my life, to the point to where a lot of what we're going to talk about later, that I became the protege and surrogate family member of Marvin Gaye. And I'll tell you how that happened before I even got there. It was amazing. My whole life was that way. I'm this guy that think that everybody loves him. And even the haters hate me because I tell them they love me. You see? And I just keep it going like that. My mother always told me that, God's word says that love will conquer all things. And that's my protection. That's the shield I wear around me.
I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I wear that love shield around me.
But they say Virginians are for lovers, right?
Yeah, Virginians for lovers.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That's a story too when it comes to me.
Okay. Well, you know what? What we're going to do is you have a lot. We got a lot that we want to talk about. So what I want to do is take a quick break. And then when we come back, I want to talk about your encounter with Mr. Marvin Gaye. How did that get started?
Sure. That would be fine.
We'll be back. Okay, good.
I'm good. I'm having fun with you.
Yeah, me too. All right. Thank you. If you just tuned in, you haven't tuned in too late. You tuned into the Gamma Grayson Show. That was the shortest commercial I've ever seen in my life. All right, now we're back. Okay, so we're having so much fun here. I don't know. Mr. Sesil. Okay, so you have a mentor that you worked with, and it feels like he was more family than just a mentor. Tell us about that and how that got started.
How it got started? Can I start from the moment of me first hearing the What's Going On album?
Yes.
How about if I started when I was 13 years old?
Okay.
Because, like I said, everything was happening in my life that led up to this. This is not a guy just meeting someone like Marvin Gaye, and that's it. It was more to it. A lot more to it that sometimes amazes me. And I thank God every day, all day long at times, because he sent me through this journey. And this journey sometimes overtakes me. And you know how you can sometimes can't breathe because it's so deep. This journey was like that.
Oh,
my father was a gangster, I told you about him. That's why when he says Sesil, everybody had to say Sesil around here because he was a real gangster, but he was a good guy and he loved a lot of people. He loved a lot of children and people. But in the midst of all of it, I lost my train of thought there for a second. In the midst of all of it, I remember him taking me uptown, Church Street here. You familiar with Church Street? Yeah. He took me uptown because he was a number runner. He was the bag man of the number game here in the city of Norfolk. And he decided, my mother was a devout Jehovah's Witness, and my father was a devout gangster.
Night and day.
yeah, definitely. But he told my mother that she can teach me everything it is that she wants to teach me about God's word. And she did. At a very young age, I had read through the Bible several times and knew scripture like it was popping out of my head at any time. So he told her that she could teach me about God, but he wanted me to know what was in the streets because he was a street man.
Right.
And he said that way I'd be more well-rounded. And I don't regret the fact that he did it. My mother talked bad about him all the time. You know, took her little Cecil up there and put him up there with them bad people. And so I worked in the shoe shine parlor, Freddie Baker's shoe shine parlor, right there on Church in Bremerton.
Okay. And
it was a bootlegger spot in the whole 9 yards. They were running numbers and bootlegging. They were doing it up in there.
Wow.
I saw it all, you know. As a youngster, my eyes were wide open because I wasn't accustomed to any of that, right?
What's going on over there?
Yeah, I just didn't know it. Yeah. But right next door, there was a record store. And a friend of mine who I went to high school with, she was managing the store. And she knew when I was at work because I would peep inside the store. And every time I peep inside the store, she'd put on Marvin Gaye. And I would sing Marvin Gaye's music standing out in front of the record store.
Oh, wow.
And then my cousin Glenda and I, she was always Gladys Knight or someone, and Tammy Terrell, and I would always sing the Marvin Gaye music. When our parents had visitors, you know, we would do that. And so I did that an awful lot growing up. And then what ended up happening is that after I gotten older and finished high school, I was living in Jamestown, New York. And the What's Going On album came out.
Okay.
I had no idea what it was. I just didn't know. But some friends of mine who was buddies of mine, Denny and Turner, and my cousin Philip, and those guys, Michael Parks, and so forth, those guys had the album because they were more advanced than I was. They were a little older than me. And they put this album on. And I heard it. And I couldn't stop listening to it.
Wow.
No, check this out. Check this out. This is what's so deep about it. I wore that record out over and over and over and over and over again. I played it. They'd all leave with the girlfriends and come back, and it's still playing. No, that's God's truth. It will still be playing. And I'm saying, now I hadn't met Marvin, and you know, nowhere near the meeting him. I mean, I'm just a little kid from the projects. But I couldn't get away from the album. And then suddenly after that, a friend of mine, when I went back to Virginia, I met some buddies, and one of them name was Joe Floyd James. I call him the only man with 3 first names. and Joe Floyd James, we called him Fleecy. He was my partner. And we hung around an awful lot of stars, an awful lot of pro athletes, football players, the whole 9 yards. And just one football player by the name of Tex, we called him. Excuse me. Faber's Griffin. And he was Marvin's bodyguard. Well, Joe James and I started dancing again. You know, it was college time then, you know. We're going to all the college dances, turning them out. You know, we turned out all the college.
I'm just imagining.
Oh, God, we were everywhere. Football games and parties, house parties. Joe James, Fleecy, and I just dancing. You know, we dancing and turning it out. You know, but we were hustlers, too. We were making money. so
had to make the money.
Yeah, we had to make the money. But anyway, Tex told Fleecy and I, because we knew about it. We knew Sly Stone. We had been with the New Birds. We had been with the Fire. We just hanging with all these people. And Tex came to Fleecy and I and said, Marvin, I told Marvin about y'all with y'all dancing. And And I'm going to get him on the phone in a minute so he can talk with y'all. Because he needs dancers for this tour. He already said it. Normally he'd have one, which would be Flo. Flo would dance and she'd do jazz dance and whatever else with him. The girl that would sing the Tammy Terrell songs with him. Her name was Flo and so forth. And anyway, so he got Marvin on the phone. I see it clear as day. So we're standing on the stairs to go upstairs to my bedroom in my parents' house. And Marvin called Tex. And when Marvin called him, Tex put Fleecy and I on the phone with him.
Wow.
And you talking about somebody tripping. I was really tripping, you know.
Marvin. This ain't Marvin.
Come on, I told my mother, man, Marvin Gaye's on the phone, huh? You know, she didn't believe it at the time. But anyway, you know, we respect Tex. And so we talked to Marvin, and he told us that, you know, yeah, he's going to hire some dancers. And if we wanted it, you know, we'll come get it. The man didn't even send for us, you know. He just
get there.
He said, if you want it, you'll come get it.
There you go.
And it's almost like come get to this, right? Yeah. Well, we did. We dropped everything. We hustled as much as we could to make as much money as we could. We hustled and made a little purse and what have you. And before we got out of there, we went to a party. I had my mother to take me to the bus stop. Now, I've been in New York, you know, but then I told her I was going to California, to Hollywood. She said, boy,
that was too far.
Do you know what you're doing?
In the world.
Do you know what you're doing? Going to Hollywood. Why are you going out there? Don't you know if something happened to you, I can't get to you fast enough? I was her firstborn, so that's why she felt that way. But anyway, she went to the bus terminal with us, the Greyhound Trailway bus terminal, right there on Monticello Avenue.
I know what that
and
is.
Brownington Avenue used to be there. And we went up there, Felicia and I. I had a bass guitar, he had a guitar, and we had 2 big old bags apiece full of our clothes and everything. You know, we had some herbs too, though, because during that time we were actually literally urban before it was legal.
Right.
You know, and so we're taking our trip to Hollywood. And it took us 3.5 days to get there. And once we had arrived there, we got off the bus right there in Hollywood, the Greyhound station, and walked down to Sunset Boulevard where Marvin's studio was.
Wow.
6553 Sunset Boulevard. I'll never forget it. It was a bright, beautiful day. And we're walking down the street. We didn't appear to be weird to nobody because you saw other people with guitars and instruments and cases and stuff walking around in Hollywood. You know, that's what the entertainers were.
Right.
So we fit right in, you know. And we got to the studio and he wasn't there, but Flo was there. And when we got inside and stood there waiting on him, he never made it there that day. But we talked to Flo and he did call us and tell us that he won't be able to take us because we had gotten there a little bit too late for him to try to arrange it, you know. And so we didn't go out immediately with him. But Flo knew we were from the East Coast, and she was one of those previous Soul Train dancers and so forth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she did a lot of dancing, you know, and she wanted to know what was the dances back east. So we laid it on her. It was a dance that Felicia and I made very popular by extending it away from what it was looking like when we first heard of it. It was called The Rock.
Oh,
Michael Jackson did I Wanna Rock With You. The Whispers did Rock Steady. And we were steadily rocking. Yeah, we were. But we gave it to her, and she was excited to have it. And then, of course, Marvin said, guys, I'll see you when I return. They said, I'll be back in about a month. So now it was time to figure out
how are you going to live for a month?
Where we're going to go to live for a month.
Wow.
But we had a homeboy that we knew very well, okay, because he used to hang out with us when he lived here in Norfolk, there in Norfolk area. His name was Herb King. And Herb King had a spot on Crenshaw Boulevard and up the street from Wilshire, not far from Wilshire. So it was a great area. It wasn't Crenshaw where the Bloods and and pick up the Reds and everybody else, the Crips and everybody were. So we stayed with Herb. I think we stayed with Herb for about 7 weeks, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at least 7 weeks. And he had a girlfriend, and it wasn't going to be no more than 7 weeks.
Yeah, but she probably was ready for y'all to go.
Oh, she was for us to go for real. You know how it is in y'all house. Y'all want to walk around loose and wild and looking like you want to look. Yeah. And we were bothering that. You know, Herb didn't want to tell us, but we read it.
Yeah.
You know, we read it, and so we told him we were going to go ahead and leave, and we left. And shortly after that, we got back with Marvin. And we were living because now, shortly after that, we moved to the jungle. And the jungle is Crenshaw up by the mall. God, what's the name of the mall? It just slipped my brain.
Is it the Mexican-like mall?
No, it's a big mall right there on Crenshaw Boulevard and up by the jungle. And if you're out there listening, then you know where it was. But anyway, I can't call the name of it. But Crenshaw Mall, the May Company and all of that was in there. Mm-hmm. And we lived up by the jungle. We didn't get with Marvin until about 6-7 months later.
Really?
Yeah. We lived out in the jungle with a lot of homeboys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of Omar was there. Omar's father was the mayor of Portsmouth years ago. I can't recall his name right now. I'm tired. But anyway, it was one of those kind of things. And Eddie and Diddy. Diddy's from Portsmouth. They were from Portsmouth. Diddy's brother owned a liquor store on Pico Boulevard, Pico and Hauser. That's where he had the liquor store at. So we were hanging with those guys. Mm-hmm. Those guys had their own places. So we were from one place to the other because all of us would be at one person's house and stay there all night anyway.
Right.
You know. But after that, Nelson Muncie, who played for the Baltimore Colts, he was married to a friend of ours by the name of Vivian. And Vivian and Nelson, which his nickname was called Rip, played with the Baltimore Colts. Okay. The era of Burke Jones and Lionel Mitchell and all those guys. Mm-hmm. And so he had a house up in Hollywood Hills with many rooms. And so we knew them very well. Mm-hmm. They were family. So we decided to move on up to Hollywood Hills. And so we were on Castilian Drive, right off of Hollywood Hills, going by the Chinese Theater up to Outpost Drive. Okay. That's a very popular area.
Is that where the hill, where you can drive up the hill and see the Hollywood sign?
See the Hollywood sign.
Okay, up
the Hollywood houses. Mm-hmm. You know, some of everybody lived up in the Hollywood Hills. Marvin had bought this house for Anna and little Marvin on the Outpost Drive. It was called Outpost, but it's going straight up to Mulholland Drive, and it was exciting living up there. And we lived there. We could see all the way to Venice Beach right there.
I know. It's a nice view up there. Yes.
Right. And Chuck ended up playing. Chuck lost by a couple of votes of being the Heisman that year. He came out of the University of Berkeley. Mm-hmm. And then he was playing for the San Diego Chargers. And so he was never there anyway. He just left us the house. So he left us the house. We lived in Hollywood Hills. You know what I mean? It was great. I mean, absolutely wonderful living up in Hollywood Hills. And Marvin came up to the house and hung out with us. My father ended up coming to town, him and some of his gangster buddies and their friends.
Checking on you?
Yeah. And then there was a young man who I coached in sports because I really loved sports a lot. But I knew that platform I could have talked when I wasn't in uniform. Mm-hmm. But in uniform or not in uniform, as a recording artist who believes in consciousness, because I'm that conscious artist, and that's what Marvin really loved about me more so than anything. The fact that I was this conscious guy. And he thought a lot about that because so was he, you see. And so, you know, from there we started hanging out, and then I became his lead male dancer and his personal choreographer at that point. And then I was hanging out with all the lockers and some everybody. They were buddies of mine, you know. Greg Pope was married to a young lady came out of the Northview area here. So I hung out with Greg Pope and the Lockers, Shabadoo and all those guys. You know? Yeah. Doing the rock.
Yeah.
I took the rock, the soul train. Boy, you're talking about somebody killing them. I won't popping and locking, but I was doing the rock. And that was the rock was it. They, girls thought that was sexy. And I and I was on it. But you know, when that happened, Marvin and Uncle Frankie was interviewing a lot of young people. Matter of fact, it was mentioned in the Virginia pilot. They interviewed Uncle Frankie when I brought him here after Marvin's demise, of course. Him and little Marvin, I brought him to this market. And, you know, it was one of those kind of things where this market and the Virginia Pilot News gave me an awful lot of support and interviewed me several times, along with the journal guide, Brenda Andrews. But this particular venture, Uncle Frank was interviewed by the Virginia Pilot because I was the first African-American person here in Hampton Roads to control the Virginia Beach Amphitheater. We had a concert there. Me and a gentleman by the name of Charlie Blue and a couple of other friends of ours. And yeah, so when we did, it was one of those things where we were making history at that time, you know, putting that together. But when Virginia Pilot interviewed Uncle Frankie, of course, he mentioned to them nothing that I had forgotten, but I didn't think that he had remembered it. And he said, we knew a lot of young people. And as you know, Marvin loved children. He did, little babies, whatever. He loved children. And so Marvin and I, you know, interviewed a lot of cats, a lot of young cats who come to us, and they would always say, I can do this, I can do that. I'm good at this too. I'm good at that. And I can do this and do that. And I was already practically family because of Tex being his bodyguard. So he wouldn't fear us. And I'll tell you about me becoming his bodyguard too. I wasn't big as a wet noodle, okay, but it was okay. But what ended up happening, they interviewed Uncle Frankie, and he told them all these young talented kids would come to us and tell us about who they were. Then they would show us immediately, you know, like they were even better than us, he told me. But when Prince came to us, which was my nickname at the time, family nickname, when Prince came to us, he looked at me and Marvin, and he told us, he says, they said, what do you want to do? And I said to them, whatever makes the people happy. I told them, I said, if y'all would just teach me and show me what it is that I need to do to be successful so that I can help people, especially my people. If you would teach me, just teach me. That blew both of them away. On that day, I became a surrogate child of Marvin Gaye's family.
Oh, wow.
That very same day. He left me with Uncle Frankie. He said, we're going to teach you. And they did. Wow. They started teaching me how to sing little notes and things like that, you know, sing a line that had 3 or 4 different notes in it, and you think it's just one note. Oh, I just learned an awful lot from them. Wow, you know. Amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. Uncle Frankie was there every day. Of course, Marvin was off on journeys and things like that. Whether if he wasn't performing, because I would be with him. But I ended up being his lead dancer and personal choreographer. You know, I even got him ready for the Grammys. Which was amazing. Yeah.
Well, let's see your talent. So we do have I think we have a YouTube video, and then we also have 2 songs. So you tell me which one you want us to go with first.
Well, we'll go with the ballad after the up-tempo.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, the up-tempo is called fulfill my needs.
Fulfill my needs.
I would always send subliminal messages through music because I didn't want to be too harsh or too cold because I don't want them to get rid of me yet. I want to be able to slide in and then find myself in a position to do more. And so all the titles of my songs are titles that are very conscious-minded and very, what people call heavy.
Okay.
So Fulfill My Needs was put together because the needs of the people need to be fulfilled.
I love it. Okay, let's play that. You guys can take us off screen so we can see the background. So we see his picture.
Baby, you call, I come, I run to your love. It's better than the finest wine. That kind of love, that's all mine. Baby, and your own sweet little way, as selfish as it seems, you think only of yourself to please my enemy. I want you to fulfill my needs, baby. Oh, I want you to fulfill my needs. Keep it right there. Don't tease, 'cause I wanna please. Oh, love, you're all I ever need. Oh, baby, you call, I'll come. I do to your love.
Okay, I love that. When you started writing, I know you write the music and all that. What do you think about? What puts you in that frame of mind to get the music just right?
It's a good question. Mainly because being a conscious writer and an emotional writer, that's why I'm the protege of Marvin, because I knew his ways and things that he did. And that track actually got a lot of his feels. We made a point of me not trying to be Marvin Gaye.
Right.
I don't want you being me. I want you to be
you.
Sesil. Period. I mean, Uncle Frankie stressed that a lot. Anybody can copy me, you know, and I can copy him too, really, to be honest. But however, I am Sesil, and being an emotional person, I feel as though if you're going to write something, you got to talk to the people. What I'm going through, somebody else is going through too.
Right.
I'm not the only one going through it. So there's no, and that's a good point there too, because some people think, and then they get on other people and they talk about other people and they just go crazy. I don't know why people do such things. We're so imperfect, you know, but I still love everybody that falls into that trap. But we all go through the same things.
Right, right.
You know, and that's what I like singing about. This song, Fulfill My Needs. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So now we have a trailer of the song. I know it's going to be released in November. The video will be released in November, but right now, if we can get that trailer up, that would be great.
Yeah, this was a trailer of the video that was shot.
I love it.
Right here, Marvin Gaye. My first met Marvin had 30 months of career. Prince been way more than me, but goddamn it, I know Marvin Gaye told me don't have nobody but Prince. That was the best. Before that, it was 30 different people had to answer. Me, no Marvin. Nobody knew it was Prince. Prince was everything. Prince a bad man. Y'all gotta play this video over and over again. Yeah.
Virtual lockdown. Over 75 million people in New York, California, Illinois, and Connecticut ordered to stay at home. The U.S. borders to Mexico and Canada set to close to non-essential travel. A spring break crackdown. Florida communities closing beaches. In Europe, the crisis growing. Inside the ICU in Italy,
they're shutting us down, fellas.
For free meals. The healthcare
they're shutting the whole country down. What is this thing? The pandemic?
Firsthand.
What is this? I really like this. I like this a lot.
What, staring in each other's souls with your eyes?
Yeah, that among other things. I just love you so much, baby.
I love you too, sweetie. No. No, no! Anthony, what is this?
We didn't get the loan.
What?
We needed this loan. It would have helped out with our portfolio.
This pandemic is kicking our butt. It's messing with our money. And our funds are not where they used to be. I'm not used to this.
What's going on? It's Latrice and Anthony, they are having some financial problems.
I'm sorry, Anthony, but due to the pandemic, we're unable to process your loan at this time.
Baby, you call, I come, I run to your love. It's better than the finest wine. That kind of love, that's all mine. Baby, and your own sweet little way. As selfish as
Hello? We got the loan.
All right. Well, that looked like that was fun. You had some acting skills going on there.
It was fun. I wasn't supposed to play. I wasn't supposed to be a part of it at all, except for the band, the live performance of the band part of it, which we shoot when I get back to back to Las Vegas. But I ended up playing that role, and being called Anthony is because of my baby brother, Anthony Jenkins, who was a graduate of Booker T. Washington High School. He's the baby boy of the family. And Anthony, he died about 5 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
Now, yeah, talented. Oh, all of his kids are talented too. But Anthony was, drum major for Booker T. Washington High School, first chair saxophone, first chair drums, everything. And when he met the little girl that he fell in love with, he almost forgot everything. I got a song I wrote about that too.
Oh my goodness!
Called "Every Child Has a Dream." But so because Marvin wanted me to bring him to Hollywood, he was something. Boy, he was. Oh my God, he was something. But I'm glad he went forward and did what he wanted to do, and that's to have a family. This video has quite a few very upcoming and famous people in it.
Yeah, so tell us who's all in the video.
There were 4 Soul Train dancers. Nacey was one, and Thelma Houston was the other, and there was another one that played named Carol, who's in it as well. And then there is King James Brown, who was like James Brown from Las Vegas, tough guy, tough man. Yeah, King James Brown was a bad dude. And then DeFrance Forrest. DeFrance is the son of Gene Chandler, the gentleman who made the song many years ago called The Duke of Earl, and all those songs. And DeFrance, he was with the Originals, and the Originals who sung "Baby I'm For Real." Okay, he's with them, as well as today he's with some other famous groups and what have you. And then there is Latricia Renee, and she's the person who plays opposite of me. And then there was Wanda, and Wanda's on Facebook too. She's a pretty big star in her way. She does the Dorothy Damage thing. You know, she's very famous for singing that. And then the blonde hair, short hair lady that was there, that's Zeola Gay. Yeah, that's Marvin's baby sister. Yeah, Zeola Gay is in it, and she should have been an actor. I don't know what took her so long to want to go into the acting direction, because she's good at acting. And then outside of her, it just was one of those things. Our producer director is a gentleman called Ridley, Mark Ridley. He's a producer director out of Hollywood, California. Nice. You know, so it goes on, and we can talk a little more about some other people that was in it. But there were people who have names all over social network. Wow.
Yeah. You know, it looked like you guys gelled really well. Like, I can't wait to see the full story because it seemed like it's going to be very interesting.
It is. You know, I know you saw at the end where it said part 1, because at the end of the entire, not the entire video, but the entire part 1, there's much more, and you'll see those clips that you saw from the trailer, and then you'll have more of a conscientious thought about the story itself. As you know, it must be about the COVID. It is about the COVID. And we shot it some time ago.
Yeah. So COVID shut everything down, and so I can only imagine what you entertainers had to go through
Ooh.
when COVID hit, you know?
That's what we're
So-
describing here.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said it was just messing with us.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So, which brings me to the event that you have coming up this October. So,
Yeah.
let's tell us a little bit about that.
It's a part of my nonprofit.
Okay, tell us about that.
You know, do we have time to listen to "I Don't Want to Go"?
Yeah, we can listen to that on our way out the door.
Okay,
That sound good?
that sounds great.
Okay.
That was the song that was played by Phil Nelson here in Hampton Roads, but it was played on hundreds of stations throughout the world, not just the country here, throughout the world that song was played. But yeah, we do have a nonprofit organization that's called TBOC. TBOC is TBOC. It stands for Take Back Our Children Benefit Concert Tour. And TBOC was put together before my cousin, who was murdered on Granby Street. You know, Sierra Jenkins. She was the young lady who worked for the Virginia Pilot News and everything, and was shot and killed on Granby Street at Backstage Cafe. Yeah, that's my cousin. And but prior to her, there were others. Even Marvin himself was killed by gunshot. And so the gun thing is serious, and our children are murdering one another every day. I had 3 other nephews who were shot down in Berkeley. That was all over the news at one time. They survived it though, which was God knows. I don't think their parents would have been able to take it. But it does. I'm fighting against gunshot murders and trying to take our children back. What I mean by that, when I say I want to take back our children, I want to get them away from the things that are happening where people are bamboozling and tricking and they're just taking advantage of them.
Right.
And they're doing a great deal of that in the industry, as we know it to be. Because here you're talking about young kids like that are making millions and millions of dollars and we weren't even taught what to even do with them.
Right.
See, so those millions of dollars are much more corrupt than anything. And then we have people who are in powerful positions taking total advantage of these young people. I mean, totally sexually, molesting wise, all kind of ways they're doing this in this industry that God allowed to take place, because in the medieval days, this was his way of teaching people about him and his purpose for life.
Right.
It was through the music, you see, because David, the whole book of Psalms got many Psalms in it. David was a musician, singer, entertainer, you know, and the whole 9 yards. So God used music to help keep love around. And we've gotten away from the love because they've corrupted the music industry where we want to change the frequency.
Yes.
You see,
Get it back on track.
we want to get it back on track. And the way to do it is to take the music industry, break it down, and then redo it all and go back to what helped us. R&B should not be drowned. It is not drowned. You may have it underwater, but it's coming up strong because that's what taught us.
Yeah.
R&B taught us. All young black kids, even with the DJs here, things. I mean, Sesil and Lujon was inducted into the Hampton Roads Black Radio Announcers Association, and were put in their Hall of Fame. And we're artists.
Right.
You know, Bobby Scott was inducted, and various others that are inducted. And of course, Phil Nelson is the president of the organization, and Glenda Kelly for G-Purse Media is a part of it. And they chose us and put their gold jacket on us since we've been here. Because radio has to want to do this. If radio stopped playing the garbage, then our children would start learning.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, it's going to take this program that you're doing and a lot more.
It is.
It's going to take a lot more. They always say the village.
Yeah.
It's going to take the village.
It is.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be here in April 26.
Okay.
Okay. The weekend after Easter, which is the weekend of the 12th or so. And we're releasing my book on April 1st.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. We were supposed to have released it this year on April 1st, but my daughter got ill for a moment, and she's strong as a bull today. But that was a very serious time period where I stopped everything, didn't move.
Understandable.
Yeah, I didn't move, not even a foot, until she was straight. You know, I had gotten myself straight behind the little problem I had, but I'm good to go now. You know, and so we're going to release it on April 1st. The title of the book is called Last Words for the Protégé of Marvin Gaye.
I love it.
That was me singing at his funeral as a youngster. And Ziola has her book, my brother Marvin, Memoir. And then David Ritz wrote the very first book, which was called Divided Soul. And that book talks an awful lot about me from the beginning pages and in spots, in certain spots to the very end.
Right.
You know, I talked with him that morning around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I had just fought his bodyguard to save his life. Not that the bodyguard was doing anything to him, but I wanted all the paraphernalia gone. You know, I had already gotten to that point. So I was spiritual minded. He promised me that we'll get back to what's going on. But we needed a hit record first. We got the hit record, Sexual Healing.
Okay.
So it's time to go back now.
Yeah.
And I got in a fight with his bodyguard, and we almost killed each other on the side of the house. And Marvin knew I didn't fight. Come on. I was considered Prince of Peace, you know. And he came out of the house with the Bible in his hand crying, saying, not me. He knew that it was about him as to why we were fighting.
Right.
Yeah. He was ready to do what he had to do. He just didn't need to be in the house with no one, Father. And he needed to be in a rehab. But sexual healing was so huge, so humongous, that he didn't want that to happen. You know, those who knew.
Right.
But if he'd have gone into that rehab, the whole world would know.
Right.
And so we thought it would work. But unfortunately, it didn't. You know, it didn't work. He's not with us today. Yet he still is.
Yeah, I was about to say he still lives within us. All the people that remember him.
Oh yeah.
Keeps him alive.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we do have a final song. Tell us a little bit about that before we go into it.
Oh, I Don't Want to Go. Yeah. We had already decided to write I Don't Want to Go before he passed. And he had sent me out to find my act, because it was time for us to have our own record company with Uncle Frankie and myself and another homeboy by the name of Gordon Banks, who's right here from Norfolk, Virginia, who I kept in the family. I kept him in the family on purpose because he was so talented, and his whole family was talented. His brother and I were competitors in high school, Godfrey Banks. You know, we were competitors, but we loved one another. That's how we did it back then. And Gordon, of course, I thought was extremely talented, and I kept him in the family and asked Mowbray to bring him to Europe, even though Ziola made sure it happened, because they ended up getting married, though they were only married for a year. But yeah, we were going back to what's going on. That was the goal.
Right.
You know, that was the goal, because I was sick and tired of that tour going out, the Midnight Love album tour going out. I didn't make that tour because I tore my Achilles heel, my right Achilles heel, looking at the fight with Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, then acting like I was one of them, right? Acting like I was one of them, and popped that Achilles heel and ended up being in the hospital all that time, you know, and had a cast on for about a year. And so I didn't make the tour. I should have been out there, and I really needed to be out there to help keep him settled and reminded of what our goal was, you know, because they had him out there dropping his pants and everything.
Oh my goodness.
You know, he didn't need to drop his pants. He was Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know who convinced him, but he was getting high too. We were all getting high during that time, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
You know, well, let's play the song and let's make it happen. And I want to thank you.
Oh yeah, this song is called. This song is called "I Don't Want to Go."
I don't want to go. He don't want to go.
Yeah, I don't want to go.
Go.
Barbara Sierra said the same thing interviewing us on Channel 10. The bottom line, she says, and he don't want to go. No, I don't. I've had some fun with you, sweetheart.
Well, thank you. We'll have
I really enjoyed this.
interviews and time. So
yeah.
I really enjoyed you as well.
And if you're supporting this right now, continue to support it.
Thank you.
Reasons why: because she's bringing you the best that there is. And you should see this place. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
I'm going to send you everybody I can send to you.
I love it.
Yeah.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
That's right.
Okay, guys, let's play the song. And thank you again.
Thank you.
Let's enjoy this.
As they